Good day, everybody. Welcome to the Tales of the God Wars mini quest. This is a short one. It'll give you a brief guide of locations you need to visit and bosses you need to fight. Some of the fights will take a little bit longer for some players, but overall this is a nice and easy one. All the cutscenes will be at the end of the video as well, so you can watch those if you haven't already. So to get started, head to the Heart. If you don't know where that is just west of Narda. The easiest way to get there is with a Desert Amulet 2, or Fairy Ring, or Magic Carpets after that. And speak with the Curator. So the idea of the mini quest is you have 4 memory tomes that you need to go to different locations for and perform different activities for in order to fill them. The first tome requires you collecting 20 special wisps from the incandescent wisp colony. You do not need 95 divination because you're not actually collecting from the incandescent wisps. But to get there, the easiest way is the Elder Divination outfit if you happen to have that already. Otherwise, the Fairy Ring shown here. Otherwise, I guess go to Castle Wars and run south, or the Spirit Tree if you've unlocked the one nearby here. Anyways, once you're here, you'll see these teal turquoise memory fragments. Collect 20 of those. There aren't a limited number. As soon as you collect them, they seem to respawn, so just collect the ones that are closest to you. And once you've collected the 20th one, you'll get a little message in the chat box that says the memory has been filled. Make sure you have that tome in your inventory, by the way, for this. Next up is Memory Tome 2, which requires you to kill Krill, Tsutsaroth, whatever, the Zamorak God Wars 1 boss. Sorry, my mistake. Actually, the second one requires you to go to Barrows. So you don't actually need to kill any of the Barrows brothers for this. If you want to, I'll have a little quick guide for you here, but really you just need to have that Memory Tome in your inventory and use it on the rewards chest, whether it's been opened or not. I don't think you actually even have to open it. Of course, it is recommended to just run through Barrows anyways if you're able to. If you're not able to, you have no business doing this mini quest anyways, since the point is to get Reputation for the Heart. Generally speaking, for this and the next part, which is the hardest but still trivial for many players, I recommend having at least the Sun Spear as a weapon, especially if you're an Ironman and other weapons are hard to get. You can get by with tier 70 weapons. It'll just be a little slower, but still fairly easy. But again, mainly because, like I said, even with the Sun Spear, if that is your best weapon at the moment, you still have really no business in the Heart. You'll have a bad time with all the bosses there. For the Barrows, if you're high level enough and you've unlocked Accuracy, you may have to deal with this prayer switching mechanic if you want to deal with him, but the Sun Spear makes that easy because if you, for example, use magic, which is generally the best for Barrows, you can switch it to melee and still have pretty good accuracy. As you can see, the Barrows brothers are pretty trivial if you're at this level, so it's, if you care to run through them, just run through them. I'm not gonna have a full Barrows guide here because that's not the point of this video, but just follow along for a quick run. Briefly, I'll mention Linza if you have her unlocked. This is actually my first time trying her. And I will say it's generally not very worth it, especially at the level that my Ironman is here with the stats and equipment that it has. It just takes forever, and actually I barely managed this fight with this gear and this setup. I didn't really bring prayer potions or supersets or whatever, and with the food I have, I barely made it here. Linza's rewards are not great. They're pretty rare drops on their own separate drop table, and she takes a while to kill and is very damaging because of her damage reflection mechanic. So I guess just as a general Barrows recommendation, skip Linza unless you really, really want her armor for some reason. If you're completely unfamiliar with Barrows or it's been a while, basically you need to find a tunnel and get into the crypt tunnels. One of the brothers' crypts will be the crypt that randomly leads you into the tunnels. You can see it's Verax here. Linza is excluded from this list, by the way, but it can be Akrate also. So find the tomb that takes you into the tunnels, and then you'll see that only one of the doors in this entry room works. So go through, and the idea is to get to the middle room with the chest, but also only one of those doors work. So you need to go around this little area here until you find the doors that will open. Once you find the correct doors that will open to go into the chest room, and by the way, the missing brother may pop up randomly while you're going through each door, or if you haven't run into them yet, when you open the chest, he'll pop up. The door to the chest has a random puzzle. I'm not going to go through what each of those are. They're pretty simple. Just watch out that because monsters attacking you can disable the interface and can be irritating. So once you get to the chest, go through your normal Barrows run. You can even collect the rewards first. And before you leave, just don't forget to use tome number 2 on the rewards chest. And you'll get another message when you do that the memory has been collected. So number 3 is killing to fill the memory, you're required to kill the Zamorak boss at God Wars 1 dungeon. This is the most difficult fight of this mini quest. And for most players, like I said, this will be trivial, but in case it's not, I'll have a little guide for you here. So the best way to get to the God Wars dungeon is, having a attuned Wars Retreat portal if you've killed any bosses there before. Otherwise, you can teleport to Trollheim. If you've completed the Mighty Fall, you can teleport straight to the God Wars dungeon, but otherwise follow along here to get there. If for some reason you have never been here before, you need 60 strength or agility to push this boulder or squeeze through it. And then proceed to that opening in the ground up ahead. Watch this area as the snow drains your stats slowly. Bring some protection against the factions here, especially bring at least a Zamorak item because you'll be spending time in his camp. Or ideally a Shard of Zaros if you've completed Fate of the Gods so that you have protection from all factions. When you jump over into Zamorak's encampment, requiring at least 70 HP, all your prayer will be drained. Now, unless for some reason you already have a Totem of Intimidation, you will need to kill 40 Zamorak followers before you can enter the boss room. There are 4 imps running around this encampment, which makes this very easy if you wanted to just do that and wait for them to respawn. If you're able to kill spiritual mages, those are also pretty simple and have decent drops. Otherwise, everything in here is pretty weak, especially to magic. There aren't even any spiritual rangers in here, just the warriors and mages. So get your 40 kills. I recommend having an attuned ectoplasmator here and one of the dungeoneering prayer necklaces. That way, and a bone crusher, which is in my tool belt. That way, as you kill mobs here, you can recover the prayer points that you lost. And just go through this until you have 40 kills. If you're at this level or even lower, I think you can do this with tier 60 gear. I don't really recommend it, it'll be really rough, but I recommend fire spells if accuracy is an issue because Krill is actually weak to fire magic. And if you're very high level, you can kill Krill in 30 seconds or 20 seconds. You don't have to worry about his only mechanic because you won't have time to fire it off, but if you're lower level and it takes you like more than 30 or 40 seconds to kill him, he does have one mechanic you need to worry about, which is that if you're using prayers, he will do a very large attack and just smash you for 4,000 or 5,000 damage and drain your prayer a little bit. So keep your health above 5,000 or 6,000 at all times while you're fighting him if it takes you a little bit longer to kill him. and just eat when he does that attack. It is still worth it overall to pray against him rather than not to avoid the mechanic. I will say again, if your gear and levels are low, so low that this is a difficult fight for you, you have no business to. Queen Black Dragon's Cave, if you don't already know. The requirement to fill this memory journal number 4 is to kill 20 of each of the 3 types of Grotworms. So there are young Grotworms in the first cave. As you proceed west through the cave, you will find, what are they called? Oh, just regular Grotworms. Okay, so you'll find just regular Grotworms in the next room. And as you proceed south to the next room after that, you'll find mature Grotworms. So mature Grotworms at lower level can be a little bit challenging to kill 20 of them, but you know, at the stats that I recommend for this quest, you should see it's very easy. They just have 10,000 HP and don't hit very hard. So you should get messages for every Grotworm that you kill at every type, and once you've killed 20 of each, you should see that the memory journal has filled up. So now you're done, and you're ready to return to the quest start to fill in these memories. Now just return to the curator, speak with him. I don't even know if you really need to speak with him. He'll just tell you to interact with the floating tome next to him, and you'll be able to deposit all your memories if you interact with it. You'll also have unlocked a 5th memory as soon as you fill the original 4. So that's really it. Now you just get to watch the cutscenes and claim your rewards. So, congrats.